July 4th, 1776. In our timeline, 13 colonies declared independence and, against all odds, won. But tonight, we're stepping into the world where they lost. Or perhaps where they never even tried. Welcome to the year 2025, in the North American Dominion of the British Empire. Let's kill the biggest myth first. The idea that Britain was some decaying, overstretched empire in 1775. Wrong. This was the Britain of Clive, Wolfe, and the East India Company, the most ruthless, efficient war machine the world had ever seen. If London had decided to actually fight, instead of half-heartedly subcontracting the war to German mercenaries, the rebellion would have been crushed in months. Imagine, no Yorktown, no French intervention, because France never smelled blood in the water. By 1783, the ringleaders, Washington, Jefferson, Franklin, are all hanging from gibbets in Boston Common as a warning. The message is clear. Resistance is not just futile, it is fatal. Fast forward 50 years. Here's where it gets interesting. A brand new United States had to beg French bankers for loans and pray immigrants didn't all die of cholera. The British Empire in this timeline? It pours money into North America the way it poured money into India, but with far less resistance and substantially better land resources. The result? The Industrial Revolution on steroids. Pennsylvania coal, Montana copper, Alberta oil, California gold, all feeding the same imperial machine that already owns a quarter of the planet. By 1900, the North American Dominion has a higher GDP than the rest of the empire combined. London doesn't mind, because the surplus flows straight to the Thames. And here's the part the monarchists dream about at night. In our timeline, the American Revolution exported republicanism like a virus. France, Haiti, Spanish America, one by one crowns fall. In this timeline, the most successful empire in history just got 3 times bigger and 10 times richer, without ever catching the disease of democracy. When 1914 comes, there is no idealistic President Wilson itching to make the world safe for democracy. There is only His Majesty King Edward VIII, yes, the same one who in our world abdicated for love, sitting in Windsor calmly ordering the annihilation of the German ambitions with a North American army of 5 million men who never questioned the divine right of kings. Germany surrenders in 1916. No Versailles humiliation. No Hitler. The Romanovs survive. The Habsburgs survive. The 20th century becomes a contest between proud ancient monarchies, not between Westminster, Vienna, St. Petersburg, and Tokyo. Now let's talk governance, because this is where the advocates of modern-day monarchism, read Curtis Yarvin for example, stop being theory and become prophecy. In our timeline, the United States is paralyzed by a 1787 constitution designed for 4 million farmers. In this timeline, the North American Dominion is run like a publicly traded corporation with a permanent CEO, the Crown. No filibuster, no debt ceiling, no judicial review blocking infrastructure for decades. When the Crown wants a national rail grid, it passes a 1-page order in council and work begins the next day. When the Crown wants to exploit the Bakken oil fields, it does, without 50 years of environmental lawsuits. The result? A state that actually works. So what does 2025 look like in the unbroken British Empire? The capital of the Dominion is not Washington, which doesn't exist, but New London, formerly Chicago. Population 28 million. The current monarch is King William V. He is 43, Oxford educated, and has more real power than any leader on earth. There is no China challenge because the empire signed a co-dominion treaty with Japan in 1902, and together they quietly partitioned China into spheres of influence. Peaceful, profitable, eternal. The internet exists, but it was built by the Royal Information Service, not Silicon Valley startups. Content moderation is simple. You do not criticize the Crown, ever. If we decided we were worried about climate change, the empire began geoengineering in the 1970s because a single decision maker could actually decide. The Thames Barrier was built in 1912, not in 1982. We are raised to believe the American Revolution was inevitable, that liberty demanded it. But look at this world. Richer, taller, cleaner, more powerful, more unified, and utterly unfree. Or is it? That depends on your definition, I suppose. So here is the question the victors of 1776 never let us ask. Was it worth it?